Hello again, viewer, and welcome to our continued playthrough in the Unite Africa campaign. I am Noble Vegas, and we are the Chiefdom of Bassa. We have worked our way up to the High Chiefdom, or a Duchy level title, and we are aggressively working our way towards the Kingdom of Guinea title. That way we can keep our entire additions into one title, keep them under one banner, and continue working towards all of Africa being united under one banner. And so you can see how we have definitely grown as Bassa, though Ghana is still fairly larger than us, and Ife here to the east has truly expanded their borders. And once we gain ourselves large enough, these will each be difficult tasks ahead. To the fact that we can also consider potential marriage alliances with the intent to potentially inherit. So they currently have a son already, and so we are going to pin this character as well to keep an eye on them. We're also going to look in on the son in Ghana, because we also were considering that as a potential target option. So they have a grandson that is currently available. Oh, sorry, that's the grandson of the current liege. This is their son. So we're going to move down. We're going to pin this character along with his father so we can keep an eye on and see how things progress there. Because currently his spouse has died, and at the age of 31, he still is young enough to potentially remarry, though I don't think he'll be in too much of a hurry as he does have an heir. Alright, continuing on with our conquests here. Again, we're waiting for our totals to refill here. We're a little low on levies. We do have our men-at-arms regiment, though we could potentially add to... We do need some more prestige. That's right, we took a prestige hit when we gained territory back that we had gifted out. Editor Noble Vegas here. Actually, the reason why we lost prestige was due to constructions that we had done in the previous episode. I had overlooked that while applying those when we made those purchases to begin those constructions. That's actually the reason why we lost prestige. It wasn't because we gained additional territory back. So we will wait on that, but eventually we will want to max out our bush hunters here. So we will begin and let things play through. And at this point there isn't much that we need to do. We're a little shrine champions. We do have the money that we could recruit to court. He is a mastermind philosopher, not much in the way, and unfortunately we've had the same thing happen again. Crew was a title that we handed out, but he has apparently died, and so now we've inherited that again. So we're going to see what position options we have on the council. Not much. So we're going to make sure that whoever we bring on will be easy to defeat in the event that they attempt to rise up. So we're going to take a younger person. So we're going to take Togar here. We're going to grant him that title. And he will have only 200 troops to his name. Not a big deal given that we have about 1,100 to ours at max, including a few hundred in our ally strength. So each of these, he now has a spouse, so that should give him plenty of time to be able to come up with an heir. That way we don't have to worry about this problem again. And Togar is 20, so there should not be a problem at all with him finding a spouse and creating his own heir as well. So hopefully we will not have repeats of those issues. Grebo is the only other one we have here. They have a spouse. They also have 3 children. All 3 are sons, so they should not have any difficulty there either. Alright, we will let time continue to progress. We're moving at a pretty quick pace just because these things go along very quickly. But I do believe our next target most likely will be either the Jumada of Mao, or if our peace against the Chiefdom of Man has expired. And so we'll probably take that next to finally finish our duchy title for the High Chiefdom of Bassa, which contains Bassa, Nuon, and Man. A few episodes back, we attempted to take this one, but when going through the selection options, it reverted over to Wenyan, and so we ended up getting Wenyan instead, which ended up creating the situation we have for that duchy. So we're going to go ahead and start this process, and we're going to do a seizure of the chiefdom. I'm actually going to do it at the high chieftain, because that way we don't have to worry about having to delegate that back out. They do have a higher quality, but they only have 359 and only 100 bush hunters. So I think this will still be a very easy run because there also are no allies. So we will take the war declaration there. We will relocate our troops to Wenyan, raise them all, and we will begin our conquest right into Man. It should be a very quick and easy battle, as we outnumber them greatly, and that swings very quickly in our direction. So there's our victory. They are now defeated and moving off. Not quite stack wiped, but awful close. So I don't think we'll be seeing them again until after we have already made the siege complete. Our son, our player and son, has increased his prowess by 1. Gorpway comes of age. With her coming of age, my tuition of Gorpway is in an end. Always the curious and knowledge-hungry child, she has shown an affinity for scholarship from an early age. An avid learner, she has become quite the purveyor of knowledge, and has proven herself fully capable of structuring advanced theoretical and theological arguments. She is now 16. She is betrothed. We will marry her here in a moment. Astute intellectual for learning +6. She's also curious, honest, content, and shy. Okay, they grow up so fast. Alright, so, whoop, I guess they sent it to us already. Yep, they are now married. Alright, so we didn't have to do a thing there. Alright, dismiss that banner. Alright, we are finishing up our siege here, less than 30 days left. And that now completes. And we do have a ransom. He doesn't have a whole lot of money. We can only get 20 out of it, but that's better than nothing. So we will ransom. And that is now finished. So we will enforce demands. So be it. So we'll disband our troops. As you can see, that is now added man. That is leaving that title under a lower level. Do a quick council check. Togar is still the only one not on council and cannot compete at any of those levels. So we are going to dismiss that again. We have the option to create the Duchy of Wenyan, which is a possibility that we can do. Only costs 125, gives us 300 prestige, which will help us towards our conquest since we are currently out of prestige. Grand tours and tournaments, we will dismiss those. So I think we're going to go ahead and create this title, since it's going to be created anyway upon our death. And so we now have that title. So that gives us 2 titles towards the Kingdom of Guinea. And so all we need now is 3 more counties within the Kingdom of Guinea, and then we will be able to create the kingdom title. We will need some more gold, about 90 more gold from where we are now, but once we have what we need as far as the land, we can work alternative options in that direction. Now our next targets, I believe we still have a peace deal. We do, with the Chieftain of Bao, and that still lasts for 16 months, so we can continue with the conquest of the Chieftain of Lobo or the Jamana of Mao. I think I'm going to go with Lobo for now because that leaves us less that we have to worry about as far as culture or religious aspects. And so this is the direction we're going to go next. Let's make sure, okay, they don't have any allies. We're still good on troops. And so we're going to make this war declaration next. We're going to conquer the county. Now this one, because it is within our religion, will cost us piety instead. So we will declare that war. We will again move our rally point here, raise our army here, and then immediately move in to take that conquest. Okay, we are being raided. We're going to split our armies in half. We're going to take this army and move in against those that are raiding us. We should be able to easily take out both conquests. The question is whether or not this army will actually arrive in time or not. And that will be the big question mark. It does look like it's evenly balanced as well. I don't think we're going to quite get there on time. Oh, nope, we will. So the question mark is, will this battle turn in our favor? We need it to in order to get our money back. Tarlo's first words. Hurry, my liege, you have to hear this. The wet nurse de Conti rushes me into my daughter's chambers. De Conti points at Tarlo in excitement, so I lean towards her and listen. Tarlo offers me a drooly coin and says, gold. How delightful. You gain 1 coin, and Tarlo gains 10 opinion for 12 months. What else? Cause stress and increase stewardship by 1? Or I don't have time for this, and 20% chance of rivalry. So I don't see any reason to really push the stewardship value at this point, especially for a daughter. So we're going to go with how delightful. Alright, our battle is starting. It's slow moving, but it is moving in our favor. Now it's beginning to really swing, which is what we like to see. And there's our victory. So we will be able to keep our coin. And now that that has been recently raided, we won't have to worry about those issues for Nuon. It's unfortunate that it was raided because that does affect building, construction time, holding taxes, and development growth. Construction time and development growth don't really impact us that much, although it does look like we can expand our sparring grounds, which is something we'll want to look into once we've created our title. Right now we don't want to spend any money as we will need that title. Alright, so we're going to let this battle continue out. A question of loyalty. My wife, Krantihina, I don't know why I always struggle with that one. My wife, Krantihina Mayupla, is with child, and I should be overjoyed. However, she's been acting strange, and I cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. It is hard to believe she would ever betray me like this, but could it be that I'm not the father? Alright, first we're going to check ourselves. We have Herbalist, Mastermind, Shy, Greedy, and Honest. We don't have Paranoid. So the fact that this is coming up says it might be a possibility. Mayupla is, of course, 2 months pregnant, indulgent, wastrel, greedy as well, temperate, and content. I don't think we know of any secrets. She is our lover. She must tell me to confront directly, look into it discreetly. I never have much luck with that one, or just assume I should be the father, surely. I think we will just take the hit that comes and we'll confront directly. At this point, we can still look into it, but it's a 40% chance that it fails, and why would you ever think otherwise? I'm going to go ahead and give it a try and see what happens. And she loses opinion of us, as that usually ends up turning out. And that's fine. Alright, we're nearly finished with our siege here in Ganyoa. We'll dismiss a few of these. We no longer need them. Alright, there's our final tally. We do have a ransom. So we will ransom for that cash. There is the final. So we will enforce. Take the territory. And once again, oh, we have another that we can ransom. We will keep that going. Children lack guardians. Your son. This is our second son, not our heir. Sum of all skills. 30, 40, 52, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so our shaman is definitely much better. So we'll allow them. And then we will teach our daughter ourselves. Dismiss each of these as we no longer need them. Disband our armies for the moment. Alright, we have a few things that we need to do for cleanup. First of all, we have a new available perk. We're going to go ahead and go with Learn on the Job. 20% of counselors' primary skills are added to your own. That'll be a big boost for a bunch of numbers across the board, including the ever-critical counselor aspect, which doesn't quite make enough to increase our domain limit. But if I remember correctly, no, you're not able to do it through here. There was another way that you could increase domain limit with the decision option. I just don't remember where that's at. But we can increase to pass limited tribal authorities. That allows us to imprison characters. Tribal rulers with non-tribal lieges may settle, becoming feudal or clan. That doesn't help us much any, but we can eventually expend towards higher tribal authorities. Once we get the max, that'll allow us to actually settle down with enough development and a number of other aspects. I don't think we're going to go with this right now, just because we want to make sure we get to a kingdom level before we start making any of those major changes. And again, we're trying to go for the Kingdom of Guinea here. We only need 2 more counties to make that happen, and we are closing in on the monthly income that's required for that. So Ganyoa, we are going to grant that out. And again, I think we want somebody young that likes us well enough, has the same religion and same culture to make this easy. So I'm going to go with Bor Yi. Grant him the title. Alright. So we have that finished, so I think now is the time to finally make the play for Mao. And so we will work towards that. We have 1672 versus 561. So we're going to make a conquered county. This one, of course, will cost us prestige because it is not within our religion. But we will begin this battle. We will move all of our troops, raise those troops, and then when they're ready, we'll move directly into Mao. And we are making quite good progress at this point, as Basa has really consolidated some territory. Once we take on Mao, we will look at maybe Sherbro as a final step towards the title for the kingdom. We can look at other options because we may also want to consider starting to cut in against some of these other larger duchies that are nearby to us. To the thoughtful Kronthing Dihu of Basa, call on you to honor our alliance and join me in the Kasan conquest of the Jamana of Kabu. So our allies in Kasa, which is farther up here, they've been doing quite well with expanding their borders. And they're going against the Jamana of Kabu. So 1673 versus 917, they definitely will expect our troops to be involved in this. So we will accept that. We will need to finish our war first, which is only this siege here. And as soon as we're done, we will send our troops up to lend a hand. So this is the first time that we have been called in by our allies. And, oh my Euclid, you have been so brave, so strong, and words cannot describe my love for you. Now we have a perfect little son, yet another son. Who will you become, my child, and what shall I call you? Peng Ba. Sure, let's go ahead and go with that. That seems like an interesting name to have. Your acquaintance Oelo has died. Call on an ally. They're a little busy, so I don't think we're going to do that. Alright, another attack here, delaying the conquest a little bit, but it'll be a quick victory. We will again dismiss the Grand Tour and Grand Tournaments for now. Nope, stay. We will finish the siege. Our children lack guardians. Torlo, so we will take on Torlo. And your son Lami. That will be some of all skills. Not great for this one. So that will be the wet nurse for now. Okay, we have conquered Mao. We will dismiss. We do have prisoners. Prisoners that can be ransomed. Fantastic. That should not affect our score any. Right, because we're already 100 in max. So we will ransom. And that'll probably be the only one that will be able to ransom, as that was all the money they had. So we will now enforce these demands. And we will begin moving off in this direction. And I think we'll move here to Cade. Wow, they have quite a few allies. They may not actually need us for this. We are over the domain limit. We'll take care of that here shortly. Yeah, I think they've got this one pretty easily handled. So we're just going to bring our troops right back in. Let them take care of that process. We will hand out Mao to a different title owner. We have 27-year-old Togar. Our counselors are all the most powerful that we have. I don't think we're going to really be adding too much else. So we're actually going to go with... There we go. 26-year-old Zasawold. Oh, okay, even better. 22-year-old Kipakla. So we will assign him this title. Chieftain of Mao. An Arma of Man. 3, 12, 11, 11, and 15. Still not good enough. It's still far too small for it to matter. So we're going to dismiss. Allow our troops to move in. And I think the only issue we have here is if we were to disband. Okay, we can disband without any delay penalty. Sometimes when you're at war and you try to disband, it takes a little bit longer to get them to come back. Alright, so for the Duchy of Nanding, 1116 to 1812 available. We do actually have prestige available. We can increase. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, because that'll still give us enough left over for another title conquest. And I think we're going to make that for sure, bro. We do need to be careful, because you can see there is a plague outbreak currently here, it looks like. He has consumption. And yep, here we go, plagues. Yanwei's flu, or consumption. Outbreak began in Timby, 7 fatalities so far. Affecting modifiers consumption, Berrien County modifiers. Alright, so instead of heading west, we may actually look to the east, because we should no longer be in a truce. Alright, so we will now go for the Conquer County. And we're going to go with the Chiefdom of Dibri. And we will take the Piety hit, declare our war, and once we have this, there should be enough to finally make our title. So we will raise our armies, allow them to stack. It is going to take 3 months. It didn't give us the warning this time. That's interesting. I wonder why it did that. Or didn't do that, I should say. Alright, we're high quality enough they don't seem to want to attack. They're moving around and now moving off entirely. So it took a little bit longer to bring these back. I'm not sure why it didn't warn us, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a major issue. So they actually do have an ally in Z. But I don't think this is going to be too much of a problem. So we're going to split troops. We're going to take one in this direction. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to hunt down the other group as this moves along. And follow them as they try to go into Mao. Well, it looks like they're attempting to go further. We're also being raided, but it looks like they're going to move off rather quickly instead. That's probably a pretty good idea. We have enthusiastic conversions. The Chiefdom of Gola gains support for conversion for 5 years, which increases popular opinion. That's good to have. Oh, don't stop there. Keep going. I'm sure we'll have our battle here, but we'll follow them along just in case. So that'll be an easy and quick finish. And we're actually going to send them to the capital. I don't think it'll be an issue. And a faction has been created. The Peasant Rabble. That's not a surprise, and that's totally fine. Alright, so we're working into our final steps towards gaining the Guinea title. This siege is nearly complete, and when it does, we'll need to move down to debris, because I don't think we will have the war... Oh, we will have the war score. Perfect. Let's take a look. Do we have ransom options? We do. Ransom first. They have finished, so we will now enforce our demands. So be it. Gain legitimacy. Alright, we're going to take our troops, bring them back this way. And we can now create the Kingdom of Guinea. We have everything we need, so we're going to create that title, which now gives us one consolidated title. The Guinean Court. As a Omanhini, you have new duties and responsibilities. You will now be expected to regularly hold court, solve the disputes of the realm, and letting your courtiers take part in your daily routines. Nani Yakpuazwa of Talma is looking sternly at me in a direct, almost lecturing way. Perhaps there is also some surprise in his eyes. He starts to unfold a beautiful banner bearing the emblem of House Bassa. One of the ways in which the world will now judge your rule is by how you adorn and care for your royal court. I have taken the liberty to have this made as a gift to mark the beginning of your royal tenure. We now have the Bassa Dynasty banner, which will give us prestige, renown, a slight boost to opinion in powerful vassals, and +1 in court grandeur. We'll also have the Bassa House banner. Again, boosts to prestige and renown, court grandeur bonus, and a parochial vassal bonus. Other matters have my attention, can enter at a later time, or let them see their new Omanhini. Which is the decision we'll make. First things first, we have court artifacts. Over and above, we want the Bassa House banner, and then to one side, we'll do the Bassa Dynasty banner. Alright, we'll shuffle those around as we get more items, and those will come available. We actually are now at a domain of 4 holdings, so we won't need to get rid of debris now that we've gained it, but we could potentially use that as a token option. Okay, we have other options. We'll go through those in the next video because this video has gotten a little long at this point. So we'll go ahead and put a cut in here, and we will continue now that we have created the Guinea title. So I thank you again for tuning in and watching. Thank you for following along. If you have any comments, questions, or any thoughts or ideas, please be sure to share them below. Again, my name is Noble Vegas, and I thank you for joining me as we continue on this journey to unite Africa.